I may shoot myself in the foot with this one, but no, what the hell. Something that women haven't talked about enough, and I'm finally starting to see more and more women talk about it, and I'm grateful, is not just perimenopause, but full-blown menopause, which is something that we have no control over. The thing with menopause is not only do we not have any control over it or the symptoms, but it affects everything and everyone that's close to us in our lives. Okay, I'll start there. The workplace. I can tell you that I had every symptom there was with menopause. I had decreasing cognition. I had pain in my body in multiple areas. My mood swings were off the chain, and I'm already an Aries female, so you can just imagine. Little things that should never have upset me upsetted me. I said things that I can't take back. And that's primarily true for pretty much every woman going through menopause. We are all going to go through it. Now, the other side of that is that the people that are closest to you will do one of two things. They will either know that something is off with you, and they will try to work with you, and they'll talk. They may talk if it's your kids and they have siblings, they're going to talk to them. You know, if it's one of your siblings, they may talk. If you have a surviving parent, they may talk to them. If you have a spouse, they may talk to their friend. Like, they're going to talk to someone about you, and that's okay. Sometimes they need an outlet, okay? And they'll know something's going on with you. The other side of that is the things they're going to say to you and the way they're going to treat you. And that's not just at home, it's in the workplace. They're going to say things in reaction to your actions and things you've said. Some of those are going to be quite ugly. Okay. They may tell you that you're not attractive and you're not feeling attractive, so that's a double whammy. You know, they may talk about the whole mood swing thing and how ugly it is, and it is ugly. There's truth to that, okay? There's a lot of things that can be said on both sides. Now, here's my other thing to that. It can be managed, and you're looking at someone who had attempted to manage my symptoms for a couple of years at least with herbal and over-the-counter supplements, and a lot of those worked temporarily. You know, some worked a little longer than others, and now I can say for probably the last 8 months, give or take, I've actually been managed. And that's because I went with something that is not very popular. And no, it's not the HRT, it's the BHRT, which are the bioidentical hormone therapy. And so it's a more natural type pellet compound, if you will. Folks, you've got to, if you're going through menopause and you know something is off with you, go get your lab work done. And some people will say, I can't afford it. Those are probably the same people that are buying $9 coffees and eating out, okay? You're going to need to save up your coins because you can get a blood panel done for about 120 bucks. Okay, maybe less depending on what you're getting, or maybe you have health insurance and you can get it cheaper, what have you, okay? Start with some blood work so you can see where all of your levels are, and then begin to understand the process and figure out how to manage it. It is manageable. Once you get managed, you go into recovery mode. Okay, whether that's in the workplace or your personal life. I've had to make apologies to some folks that I let out on in days where I was just, my hormones were all over the place. You can't control it. It's uncontrollable. When I tell you it is uncontrollable, the things you say, the way you act, the outburst, I can't tell you the times I sat in my vehicle and just cried over an episode that I had had, and I couldn't understand myself, so I couldn't expect anyone else to understand me. When you go into recovery mode, You will have people that will meet you where you're at. They will understand. They will be accepting of the situation, and this is personal and in business. Then you're going to have people that will never come back the way they were, and some won't come back at all. And you will forever be punished for things you said or things you did when you were unmanaged. You have to accept that and move on. Save what you can, and then deal with what you can't. If you are on the other side of that coin and you are dealing with someone with menopause, you have to understand they can't control it. It's inevitable. Every woman is going to go through it. All going through it. Some younger than others. You can either choose to support that individual and understand and help them get managed. Meet them where they're at. Or you can continue a cycle and you can go find someone younger than the individual you're with that's experiencing menopause. And that younger individual, they too are going to go into menopause at some point. You're just keeping the cycle going. I felt like I needed to put this out there. I talk to women on a daily when I'm working. You know, they're like, how are you in menopause? How are you managing? How did you get where you're at? I can't even find the energy to work out. I lost mine for a while. And the gym has always been my safe haven for over 20 years. I'd show up, but I wasn't really participating. I felt it and my body showed it. Anyway, this is a little different than most of my content, but is something that I do talk about daily with people that I work with, and I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to menopause. I'm not embarrassed about it, but I do want to help other women and other men that are dealing with women in their lives that are experiencing this thing that nobody really wants to talk about or deal with, called menopause. Y'all have a good day. I gotta go.